As we continue our lovely late IHP show with your very own 5D mystic, we chit-chatted about being humble, and that's for any 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. Very easy for the Divine Feminines who, thanks to sciences, we get to, as a feminine, connected to pure consciousness, means that which I learned from Jesus and God, humble. And humble is not where I bend down backwards and over for any human being on the face of this planet or any entity for that matter. No. It is actively having what is called functional adult capacity. So my brain, like yours, can be flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable. That's why people do mindfulness and mindsight and mindset here at IHP. So you become more of yourself and that humble thing that we were talking about. So you have no ill will, and I mentioned no biases. Obviously, we all have implicit, explicit, but the self-aware person, as you learn from any of those good courses that I've learned from, and then as you are an actively mindful and self-aware, accountable, and regulating human being, and you take note of your human herd, the true spirituality life is a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. So someone feels offended, I apologize, doesn't mean that they're not projecting, no. But what it means is that I will choose to be a humble person who knows how to. If you can't say something nice, say nothing, the lovely little song, okay? So seekers, which let me remind you in case you didn't tune into the humble episode, thank you Sadhguru, seekers are this. Seeking means admitting that you do not know. Once you have cleared your slate, truth can imprint itself upon it. This is what it means to be in your present, in your prefrontal cortex. Curious, open, accepting, and loving. And that is what it means with my attachment trauma information. As I was saying, I know how to put Maria's personality aside, biases, all of it. And if I get said, oh, you're biased, I'll say, wait a minute, am I? No, I'm not trying to, but I'm not going to say no necessarily because you're pointing out something obvious. Are you bothered? Did something happen? So when grown-ups are met with someone pointing a finger, whether it's a Cusco or Pacha, we're going to engage in conversation because functional adults do not have anything except for healthy self-worth. There's no shame button. That's why humble, and no ill will. It's called equanimity. It's actually quite empowering. The attachment coaches who tell their potential clients that secure attachment is boring don't know anything about secure attachment, apparently. Their 1-year-old is not a free lover yet, let alone a free anything. They haven't cleared their slate. And that's the part of why, again, when you meet those who are within their authenticity, you will know if you are yourself a human being who knows. If you are really looking for truth, don't assume anything. Just seek, Sadhguru again. And as I said in the humble episode, we will know, like Jesus taught me, don't cast a stone. I felt shame when I realized by saying you're bad because you don't follow the law, you do drugs, you actively talk about death. All the teenagers I met, bad, 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 bad. I'm good, they're good, based on following what is the structured society. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was casting stones. Why? Because with intent, I was saying it as a child who's growing up will. Intent changes when you realize, oh, I don't mean it by casting. You know, people who ignore their feelings, that's because they don't have a self-aware body. Human being. It's very easy to know if your heart is open or closed. So you can choose to be humble and you can choose to navigate outside of envy, jealousy, resentment, any of that, and venomous tooth, which by the way is not a devil or evil or a mantle with an evil cape. So whenever I hear superhero stories, I love my movies. I mean, not as much as I used to, but it's not a superhero or supervillain. Those are people who are pseudo-alive or they're teenagers with a charge. Basically, I got a Cusco in the room. So when you will be what I am trying to share with you today, a clear slate, you'll know I can put my biases to the side always. And when you get called out, hey. So there's this fun game I played with my friends. One of my friends who continues to say he's going to conquer the world, sure. And so he's going to give me all of Italy. And there's this big thing between the North and the South. The Northerners are actively, quite aggressively mean to the Southern Italians. And because I'm from Naples, Italy, I'm from the South. So I actively have only one human being friend from that very area. All the other ones have migrated and I will not go visit them, is what I've told them. I have no interest. Come down to where I am. no, I don't want to visit Venice. Maybe I'll go one time. I don't know. But I went to places to visit people that are special to me, but it's not interesting. Is that a bias? Sure. Yes. Am I ashamed? No, I'm not. I actively am not. Does it mean that they're awful? No, not even close. Does anybody not know that emotions are not truths? This is what it means to be able and actively acknowledge I'm not going to cast a stone. The only people who don't understand the difference are the very same people who don't work with their emotional mental plane and know you can become equanimous in your body in time. It's called using your brain to say, hey, no need for a story. Oh, look, I got gooey emotions. Oh, look, I can work with it. But people, I don't want to do personal development, self-help. I want life now. You know what? No, I don't like them. So when I've gotten called out again on anything, I'm like, wait a minute, you know what? This one, you're right. I don't like the Northerners, but I'll be nice to them because they'll be nice to me when they're in our home. And if I'm up there and they tease me, it's like with the Brits that tease the American accent. They are actively, viciously vicious. I did not realize this. And as I shared this with one of my closest friends, at a certain point, I said, you guys are really mean, like mean. I'm not even kidding. And my friend, he didn't like that I said he was mean, or his other Brits, and he knew what I meant though, because they are mean. And he's like, no. And he's bicultural though, so I think that's what it is we share some commonalities. So anyways, the point is, nobody likes when people treat you in a specific way. So I just was sharing with my friend how amazed I was at this thing, because I actively didn't think that they would be that mean about an accent. And then I just noticed how they come out with like every word. It's even worse than the French. And I have French friends. I actively think the British are a lot more snootier when it comes to accents and Americans than the French are. At least that's my personal experience. So see right here, subjective experiences. We could talk about this all day now. Let's talk about love, because I was going to talk about love in our last minute. So again, there's no perfection. Any adult knows it. The only people who try to make it sound like you're trying to say you're perfect are the same ones who don't know that there's no perfection and that conversations are not competitive matches with words. Okay. And so yes, grown up doesn't entertain Cuscos. We allow Cuscos to speak so that self-bridled expression, they get it all out of their chest. We get to hear them when we bye, ciao. And there's nothing intellectually savvy or interesting that has taken place, FYI. And it'll only be when I meet a humble human being who has actively humbleness. That's it. If they know how to do this, be a clear slate, then I'm going to know, because their body's going to be full of clarity. Truth. It is nowhere to be found except for, oh, look, we got a bunch of books and information, and there's a bunch of sciences that chase Dr. Daniel Siegel down, and mystics that chase each other. I don't know. Oh, I love having the slate, clearing your slate, then truth can imprint itself. So truth is that love is easy. And people who are unkind and don't have child-centric environments don't know how to love. And when they have a mood like a teenager, they're pretty much rude to a person, but then you grow up and you know what biologically rude people do. Thanks, Stephen Porges. They don't know anything. They can't hear you. They actively think they're right, and like Terrell says, they don't really want to be there to have a conversation. They're just trying to prove themselves, which is uninteresting to a woman or a man, or they who has what is called a humble. Like the dead man in the grave, the poor one says to the rich one, we're both dead, dude. What the fuck? No, he doesn't say it like that. I'm saying it right now. So love, easy. The only ones who seem to want to keep on talking about suffering are the same ones who, I don't want to do it, or they actively think they know everything. In the meantime, they're distorted completely, and then they follow 7 and 14 charming with capes. And they all walk around with these beautiful capes, and Pachas watch from afar. Yeah, they're cute. We're happy they have solace. That's good. They're distracted with their illusion, self and other, and the Jacobs get together and huddle up. Huddle. Okay, you do that, we do that. Check. High five. Hey, Jesus, come on over. God, come watch. And that's how it works with love. Oh, and romance, yes, they don't come in and out of our lives. It's a bullshit thing. Whenever I've met teenagers, I knew how to handle them. Eventually, I learned how they don't grow up unless they do. If they do, they don't bullshit you, which also means they know how to be humble and they know how to have a heart of gold. That's it. A heart that says, I love people, and that people, we don't know what they've been through. It's a sad story to know about just how far transgeneration, cultural trauma goes. So, healing trauma 1% at a time, relationship, safe haven, secure base. Pachas is here and elsewhere. We love humanity. We can support each other.